Why we do hot oil treatments. To understand why we do hot oil treatments, you first have to understand the structure of your hair. So our hair is made of 3 layers. The innermost layer is the medulla layer. The medulla layer. And it's not known scientifically what that layer does. And a lot of us kinky hair ladies find texture to normal texture. We don't really have the medulla present in our hair strands. We just have 2 layers in our hair strands, and the medulla is absent. The second inner layer is the cortex, and the cortex is responsible for our hair strength, our hair's moisture, and even the color of our hair. And the outermost layer is the cuticle structure, and this is what benefits from the hot oil treatments the most. So the cuticle layer isn't actually just one layer. It's actually several layers of protein and samaries. And samaries are pretty much lipids and fatty acids and cholesterol. The amount of layers that you have in your cuticle structure depends on genetics and your hair type, fine, medium, or coarse. And so over time, like with manipulation and styling, washing our hair, these samaries are lost. Even with touching our hair, the samaries are lost. And so that is why we use hot oil treatments to replenish the hair. This is what gives our hair shine or sheen, and it helps with the length retention, because once your cuticle layer is depleted of its natural oils, that's where the term natural oils come from. Once it's depleted, then your entire hair shaft is damaged. To do a hot oil treatment, you first have to pick an oil. And you'll think you can just use any old oil, but that's actually not the case. Some oils are better than others when it comes to hot oil treatment. A few of the weaker oils include things like olive oil and coconut oil. And yes, this is surprising. These are weak oils, but you can use these oils for hot oil treatments. They just won't be as potent. If you was to use a wheat germ oil, walnut oil, or grapeseed oil, I like to use safflower oil when I do my hot oil treatments. So the next step is to figure out how you are going to let the oil absorb into your hair. And so there's a few ways that you can do that. One way to do it is to just put the oil on your hair and put a cap on it and let it sit for a few hours. I like to do mine overnight. You can do that. Another thing is, if you don't have a hooded dryer, you can heat the oil up. And this is what a lot of people do. They heat the oil up and they put it on their hair that way. And that is, with that, you want to make sure that you do not heat the oil in a microwave or directly, or like put it in a pot and put it on the stove, because once you do that, you are degrading the oil. And so you want to put it in a hot water bath to heat it up. Also, if you have like a huge container of oil, please put it like in a little small cup or something, or a container that you're going to use for that one session to heat your oil. Do not heat up the container that the oil is in, because it's going to weaken the oil over time. So just take out however much oil you're going to use, heat that up, and then apply it to your hair. And then the next thing you're going to do is, if you have a blow dryer, a hooded dryer, you can slather the oil on your hair. Make sure you cover it with a cap. Do not get under the hooded dryer without your shower cap. With the hooded dryer, you want to put a cap on and then sit under the dryer for maybe a good 30 minutes to give the oil a chance to absorb. And the reason why we heat the oil is so the oil can absorb into the hair strands. And the longer it sits, the more fatty acids that your hair is going to be replenished with. But 30 minutes is pretty much the norm if you're going to sit under a dryer, or if you're going to heat the oil up and wash it out, because a lot of us don't have all day to sit with oil in our hair. How to apply the oil. If it's hot, you can get a spray bottle and put it on your hair. I highly suggest if you're going to use a natural oil like safflower oil or grapeseed oil that you bought from the store, put that on dry hair because water and oil is hydrophobic. And so it's pretty much the water is going to repel the oil and it's going to be pointless for you to do that hot oil treatment. Now, there are hot oil treatments that are sold in stores, like the little pre-packaged $1.99 hot oil treatments. And some of them tell you to do that on freshly, I think, shampooed or freshly shampooed and conditioned hair. Follow the instructions on those packages because a lot of those oils have different ingredients and that work differently, and they know how best that particular product is going to work for your hair. And so if you buy a product from the store, just read the directions and follow the directions. But if you're going to use a natural oil, make sure you do it on dry hair and then shampoo or cleanse your hair and condition or whatever you decide to do after that. So some of the questions that I think I'm going to get, I am going to answer them now. So the first one is, how often should one do a hot oil treatment? You can do a hot oil treatment once a month, but you can do it a little bit more often than that if you feel like you need to. Another question is, can I use mineral oil to do hot oil treatments? I wouldn't use mineral oils because they really don't contain like fatty acids and the nutrients that you're going to need to replenish the cuticle structure. Can I use a steamer to do my hot oil treatment? I would suggest doing a steamer because water and oil is hydrophobic, and so you really don't want to be mixing oil and water. You want the oil to absorb as much as possible into the hair strands. What other oils can I use for hot oil treatments? I will have a list of the oils in the description box, or I will probably have a link back to my blog. Can hot oil treatments mend split ends? No, nothing can mend split ends. The only thing you do have products that can mend them temporarily, but a lot of the times once those products have rinsed off, the split ends just split up even more, and so you'll just want to cut the split end off. Don't depend on any oil to mend your split ends. Can I use a hot oil treatment as a pre-poo treatment? You definitely can use hot oil treatments as a pre-shampoo treatment. That is pretty much my take on hot oil treatments. I hope that you all found this informative. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down in the comment section, and I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye, guys.